Welcome into another edition of SC Checks In presented by First Texoma National Bank. Today we are joined by current senior, or as Coach Crabtree likes to dub them, the COVID seniors, Colton Buckner. Colton has been with the team this is going on his third year now. He came in the 2019 season and has been a consistent contributor ever since. Colton, welcome to the show.
Hi, how you doing?
Doing well. Let's jump right off and let's tell your story a little bit. You're a native of Garland, Texas. You leave there, you go play at Northwest Oklahoma State. You go to New Mexico. You end up back here. Talk to me about your journey from Garland to here.
Well, my senior year, I got the offer from Northwestern and decided that was just my best bet. So went there and played and just kind of wasn't really loving it out there. So decided to transfer to junior college, and that's when I came in contact with Jimmy Durham, the baseball coach in New Mexico. Decided to go out there to play because it was a really good high-level junior college conference. And so went out there and tried that. Loved it from the get-go. Good baseball. It's pretty much just a real, junior college is pretty much all about sports in a way. So just loved that aspect of it. Decided to go back another year to play there, and we ended up going to Las Vegas to play and, regionals and winning conference. And, just that was those 2 years out there in New Mexico were just a fun time. And how I kind of ended up there is just, when I decided to go to junior college, started looking around. That was just kind of my best bet as far as hopping in and being able to play somewhere, right away. I knew, the players they needed and the players they had, and I felt like I could fit in there and play outfield and stuff. So I decided to commit there, and worked out pretty good for me. After my sophomore season there, I was exploring my options, had offers from a couple other places. And when it came down to D2, Southeastern just kind of was my top option, just because having gone to Northwestern, which was 6-7 hours away from Dallas, and then going to New Mexico, which was another 6 or 7 hours away, just kind of felt cool to be within that hour and a half range from home and be able to make more of the family events and stuff like that, and have my parents come see me more often. And I came up here and visited, and really liked Coach Crabtree and Coach Traylor and just the campus, and kind of like the feel I got from being around the program, being around the on the field, stuff like that. So went home, and took me about a week or so, and I just decided that I really want to come play for Southeastern, and calling that Coach Crabtree and then come that spring I was here. So
well, you jump into that spring, and the 2019 season, everything was normal, and then we hit 2020. And I want to talk a little bit about, you were off to a great start in the 2020 season. As a team, you were off to a solid start. You personally were off to a great start, hitting lights out. Talk to me a little bit about what it was like to be playing like that, and then essentially see the season come to such an abrupt end.
It was pretty tough. I mean, going through it, I was, my mindset was, this is my last year in college. I'm senior. I'm going to work hard and leave it all on the field and just see where it takes me. And, to be having that good of a season, and, feeling pretty good about my chances of going on after that and doing something was, I felt pretty good about that at that point. And then all of a sudden, COVID hits, and it's all, kind of taken from you. And then you're like, man, like, it's tough to kind of go from playing so good, and then, next weekend you're not doing anything. And so it really kind of, it was a bummer, and, but something that, everybody, all schools went through. So, taking that experience and going in this season, I'm just going to, focus on, you really don't know when it's going to end. So, keep working at it, and hopefully, I can do the right things, have that season this season. So, that's the goal.
Now, along those lines, if there was a silver lining at all, it was that you guys were granted, as everyone was across the spring sports, an extra season of eligibility that would allow you to come back since your season was cut short. A few weeks ago, we talked to Chris Isay. He had the opportunity. You guys were both seniors last year, and he decided that he wanted to go on and start pursuing his post-college life. You were presented with that decision and decided to come back and play another year. Talk a little bit about what sort of things weighed on you for that decision.
Yeah, well, right when we found out we weren't going to come back and be able to finish the season out last year, Chris and I had been talking. We were both going to go and do the whole travel together and try and hit the tryouts and stuff like that. And that was my initial mindset. And then I guess it took a week or two, and they the coaches ended up calling everybody, and I talked to Coach Crabtree, and we talked about my options and coming back. And obviously I was graduating, so as far as classes go, I'd have to take just a maybe double major or just take some electives or something to stay eligible, or take a master's. And it took a lot of thinking about the process, talking to my parents and just exploring my options. And I just felt like given the opportunity to come back to college and to get my master's degree and improve my education and improve my chances after baseball, I just felt like my best bet was to come back and live that last year of college and have that season and get my master's and then see where it takes me. So that's what I ended up coming to. It wasn't an easy decision at all. It took me a little while. Probably took me a couple of weeks to decide exactly what I wanted to do. And but I just weighing the options, I just felt like this is my better option. So,
well, as a Southeastern fan, as well as an employee, glad you chose the way you did. It's fun watching you play. Stepping off the field just a little bit, you come back, and it also gives you the ability to stay involved in some things that you've gotten involved in. And one of those big things that maybe you've even stepped up a little bit in is working with the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. Can you talk a little bit about how you've jumped into working with the SAC?
Yeah, I mean, my first spring here, I kind of got into it, and I was just a representative for baseball. Just needed somebody to go, so I was like, well, I'm new, and what a good way to meet people and do things, I guess. So I joined it and didn't really expect much. I just went to the meetings and talked, and I became friends with Grace and all the other people that are big in it. And this last year, knowing that I did my master's and my master's is all online, I thought, well, I'll have a lot of time during the day, stuff like that. So I reached out to Grace and told her that, hey, I'm gonna get more involved and try and run for a position, and end up running. It was me and Sky were running against for vice president, and I ended up getting it. And it's been fun since. There's more responsibility obviously than just doing regular representative, but I like it, and it keeps me busy. It keeps me kind of in the loop with everybody and with all other sports, and I get to see a bunch of people every day and talk to them. And so yeah, I mean, I really like it. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I became the vice president. It's going good so far. So
along those lines with SAC, talk a little bit about the role you see SAC taking in kind of this, in this very non-traditional season when, we're not playing fall sports and we're not looking at getting back on courts and fields until January. What kind of role does SAC take in that to keep everybody engaged?
Yeah, I mean, SAC, our goal coming into this year was to, obviously it's going to be completely different than the previous years, having, the new COVID and the rules you got to work around, the social distancing and stuff like that. And so, taking that consideration, we really wanted to, keep that kind of that college feel about it, that sports. it was a bummer that, football didn't get to play and that volleyball didn't get to play in the fall. So you kind of missed out on that whole semester of going to games and homecoming, stuff like that. So we really wanted to, give that feeling back to them. So we've been trying to plan these events that can, give students or student athletes the opportunity to, come and hang out. And we have a big event planned, it's activity week, which is, talent show, pep rally, and all stuff like that. And we're currently trying to figure out the best dates for those to happen. So, we're going, that's in the plan. And, the main goal is just to try and make this year as normal as possible, while working around the COVID rules. And, it's definitely been tough. But, we've been having the best participation in SAC that we've had since I've been here. Every sport is represented now and in there, has somebody there. And, that's really helped us step it up and be able to do these things. So, that's always good. And, so yeah, it's going good. And that's our deal. Just we're trying to, get this whole feel back to it. And hopefully, that we can start having, more events and stuff planned in the future. So.
Well, let's do this. Let's jump back onto the baseball field for just a moment and talk about the 2021 season. You guys are scheduled to be back on the field beginning in February, playing games that count. And you personally, heading into this season, talk about not only your goals, but how you see the season going just from your point of view.
Well, my goals have always been, just to contribute to my team and try to be, try to perform the best I can and give my team the best shot to win the game. And, as far as my role in the field being, playing outfield and stuff like that, it's just, being solid defensively and getting hits and being in the lineup every day and contributing and scoring runs. I'm pretty excited to see what we're going to do this year because I feel like we have, every year I've been here, we've gotten better and better and better. And I think this is the year we can really do something with it and make a run for something. And I'm anxious to see, how we, how everybody else is when we get back. And, I think because, COVID, it's kind of thrown the whole baseball and softball world out, like in the spin with, new recruits and transfer, stuff like that. So everybody's here and there. And I feel like it's really going to up the level of baseball. And so I'm pretty excited about that and hoping that, this, gives our team an opportunity to play for something big this year. And, with given the guys that we got new here, I feel like we have a good shot. So.
Well, speaking of it up in the level of baseball, I want to take a look back briefly. You just completed a very competitive Fall World Series. And, it was streamed, it was carried. And I think a lot of people were just excited about it because, not just because they enjoy some baseball, but because it's really the first kind of action we've seen. I know it's an intra-squad scrimmage, but it's still the first kind of live game stuff we've seen in months. So talk about your experience with the Fall World Series and how that went. Was that enjoyable?
I liked the Fall World Series. I liked how we, had a real serious feeling to it this year. Like it was like almost like you really were playing a new opponent and playing somebody else for something. And, that's just the whole aspect of it, is just to get that competition feel and give, split the team in half and give the guys a shot to, play for something. And fortunately, my team didn't come out on top this year, but, I had a lot of fun doing it. And, I think a lot of guys got better and I think I got better. And, that's what it's about, is to get that competitive edge in everybody and see what they do with it. So, I definitely liked what we did this year with the World Series and, and playing for and, videotaping the game, stuff like that and posting them online. That was all a cool feeling. So, I really liked it.
Good deal. I want to close up this interview by talking a little bit about what your goals are in the long term. You mentioned you're working on your master's degree. What are you working on getting a degree in?
My bachelor's degree was in occupational safety and health from here, and my master's degree now is in sports administration. So, I chose that just because, not originally planning to get my master's. I was really looking for something that, that I could do outside of, when I did graduate. And, I've been around baseball my whole life, and I've always coached little teams and gave lessons. So, I decided to pursue that and to give myself the opportunity to possibly, go coach afterwards, or at a school or high school or, college, if, that's able. And I just, talking to some of the GAs here and knowing that they were in this program, they said that it's a good program. And, so taking their word and stuff like that, I decided, that's what I want to do, is pursue that and, see where it takes me. So
You led me a little bit to my last question. What are your long-term plans post baseball, post master's degree? You've kind of set yourself up to have a couple of different directions. You've got a degree in occupational safety and health, which can send you one way, and you'll have a master's degree in sport administration, which can send you another way. Or do you even have an idea what you want to do when you do finish things up in the spring?
Once I finish in the spring, I've always had the goal to pursue a baseball career and see where it takes me. So I'll probably go to some tryouts for some indie leagues and see what that happens there. After baseball, I've always been big in coaching, so I'll probably enter coaching somehow. I haven't quite made my mind up yet, or have an idea, if I want to go to, like, say, a high school, or if I want to try and pursue a college, coaching career. That's still up in the air. I'm still kind of, seeing where it takes me. But, those are kind of the plans right now. Nothing's, set in stone, but, that's kind of direction I'm going towards. So.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good idea. You got options, and that's all anybody really wants whenever they finish up their collegiate careers. Colton, I want to thank you for coming by, for stopping in and talking to us. Is there anything you'd like to tell the fans?
Just come out this year and help support us and help support all the teams. And, it's been kind of a whirlwind of a year with the whole COVID. And, so we're just ready to get back at it. And, we hope that you guys are going to be there to support us. So come on out and have a good time.
I want to thank Colton Buckner for stopping by for another SE check-in. I want to thank First Texoma National Bank for being the presenting sponsor of our check-ins. Colton, thanks for stopping by. Be safe.
Thank you.